number 2 ranking, which is from WrestleMania 15, The Rock and Stone Cold Steve Austin. Like I say, that was a true great way to end the rivalry. But as far as starting, man, WrestleMania 15, the build-up going back as far as Survivor Series, and this was this era, this build-up where The Rock really came into his own as a main eventer. Because, man, you look at some of the stuff Rock was saying, dude, I remember some of the promos where they were talking about, what's your thoughts on Stone Cold? He's like, Stone Cold, you always want to talk about The Rock. It's going around doing a bunch of nursery rhymes. Well, The Rock's got a little nursery rhyme for you, Stone Cold. Mary had a little lamb. Well, piss on the lamb, piss on Mary, and piss on you, Stone Cold. Like, Rock was fire, and who could ever forget the legendary beer truck when The Rock's talking about he's gonna take your ass down, know your role boulevard, check you right into the SmackDown hotel, and lay the SmackDown on your candy ass, and Stone Cold goes like, Jesus Christ, son, you come on out here with all these nursery rhymes, it's making me sick. You better get your ass straight, son, for WrestleMania, because what Stone Cold's gonna do is he's gonna roll down know your role boulevard, check into the SmackDown hotel. Roll right into room 360,
burn that son of a bitch to the ground. Yeah, I remember that.
One of the best times Stone Cold The Rock got owned. Like, this is why people loved it, because Stone Cold could go bar for bar with The Rock on the microphone, and the close Vince McMahon swimming in the beer truck and stuff. It's just, man, Rock and Austin's build up to, it was just so good, and it was them saying, we are here. This was like, okay, we had Andre and Hogan in the 80s, and after all that time with WCW kicking the WWE's butt, we got our own 2 guys that we built from the ground up, basically, compared, at least because WCW didn't do much with Steve Austin, obviously, in terms of getting him to that main event scene. They prepared him, but didn't get him to that main event. But, man, this was just fantastic build-up right there in Philadelphia, and most people will tell you, as far as WrestleMania 15, they think this is a one-match show, that this is the match that stole the show, and
It was the show.
It was the show. And Stone Cold, he didn't even like this match that much. I think he's warmed up to it over the years, but if you had that VHS, what's up?
Well, you got to look at it like this. Well, Stone Cold Steve Austin was going through some personal stuff. He did this, and also he left his vest at home, so that's why he's got the T-shirt on. And so you look at it like that, and you got to understand that from his point of view and his perspective, it's he's expected to go over, but at the same time, it's a bit of a tumultuous period in his life. So it's like so it's just like you want to look. So like we got to look at it like from those. From the actual historical lens, rather than the rose-tinted lens that we use,
Well, here I'll say this, and Man Triple One said it there. Yeah, Austin was going through a lot at the time, which is why he forgot his vest, and he likes the Backlash '99 match, which I do too as well. I think it's one of their best matches. But here we're focused on the WrestleMania trilogies. With what was going on in Austin's life, very much like the WrestleMania 14 match, obviously the one right there. Not one of his favorite matches either. But you know what? I just, as a fan, I've always been able to look at both the 14 and the 15 matches that Austin had and think, despite what was going on, man, I thought he put on a heck of a show. Him and The Rock, man. I want to give a shout out to Wrestling Biles on here. And one of the things he said when he reviewed the WrestleMania 15 match, he says, just look at The Rock's entrance. He thought it was one of the greatest Rock entrances of all time, and it's just simple lighting, just music, just The Rock throwing the title on his shoulder and just walking out slowly. It's just, man, he felt like a main eventer, and The Rock felt like he was on a mission. He knew the WWE was putting him in the main event, and The Rock went out there, and man, I think him and Stone Cold, they went to war. I was saying on the commentary, Jim Ross and Jerry Lawler, he was saying that, man, is it safe to say, JR, these guys don't like each other? And they did not. They went at it. So many great moments. Austin doing the bionic elbow drop to The Rock and exploding the announce table. I think he had to do it twice. When they go to the back, and The Rock gives Austin the backdrop, and his leg gets caught all up in the light. Fantastic stuff. And like I said, this was the first time you saw someone kicking out of the stunner and the Rock bottom, taking like 3 apiece for them to finally put either one away. It was just all out action, brawling all over the place. Like, this was typical Attitude Era stuff that you would expect during this era. And man, did it absolutely work. And it was a lot of chaos with McMahon's involvement and Shawn Michaels, and then the referees getting knocked out, and they're just throwing out the referees, all the type of shenanigans you would expect during this time in the Attitude Era. You got a lot of that. And I think the problem, and that's probably why some people may even put this match under the 19, put this match under 19, but I thought it was one heck of a brawl. These guys, I thought, absolutely killed it. And in the end, Stone Cold does get that stunner on The Rock, 1, 2, 3, with Mick Foley coming out, getting his piece of the action for the main event, and seeing Stone Cold and Jim Ross going crazy like, the rattlesnake rolls again, and he stuns Mr. McMahon. Just, it was a great feel-good moment. Austin had to chase for several months to get the title back, and I think it was one heck of an ending to WrestleMania 15. It was fantastic. I think they treated the Philadelphia crowd to something really spectacular, and that's why I said I felt that there was an intensity to this WrestleMania 15 match that was not present in their WrestleMania 19 match, and it's why I personally like it. And then that's what I got to say about the match. We're gonna move over here at Man 0001. You were in attendance in Philadelphia back in 1999 for this match, and you actually like this match. This was your least favorite of the Rock and Austin trilogy, so let's hear your perspective on this match.
Okay, so here's my perspective on the match. So we have the Rock, and we have Stone Cold Steve Austin. I agree with Wrestling Bios. This right here was one of the best WrestleMania entrances ever. And you go and you sit there and you have that, and you sit there and you have that match going, and you have the Rock going down there, and it's like it's like a precursor to his current entrance. It's electrifying when you see it. It's like when you watch it and you hear that version of the Rock's theme song, it is like everything is in sync. No Backstreet Boys. Everything is in sync. And and you sit there and you watch it, and it's just like, wow, this man right here, he means business. And then you have Stone Cold Steve Austin and The Rock. In all of their matches, they never lock horns. They just get right down to business immediately. The in-ring psychology was great. The match delivered, but I don't put it on the level of WrestleMania 19 because, this right here felt like it was a match that was going to happen again, because it had to happen again, because it's like, WrestleMania 19 was more so finality. We were not going to see these two ever wrestle again. And one of them pretty much was retired for the better part of 19 years. So, that was finality on that one. This one right here felt like, okay, this right here is one of the, is WrestleMania wise, just the first chapter in what would be a trilogy. So I'm like, yeah, they're going to wrestle a little bit more. I don't feel like they showed us everything they can do in this match. Felt like they kind of pulled back a little, but what we did get was great. So it was greatness, and it was the show, because it was the main event of the WrestleMania. So that makes it the show. It's doing what it's supposed to do. Because we look at it like this. Samir. I'm recording. Okay. So, yeah, you definitely, you definitely see that. It felt like they didn't show everything that they could do. And, you also, and that's also a good, and that's also a good thing if the long-term plan is to make sure these two have another match at WrestleMania. But, The Rock and Austin, WrestleMania 15 is just, it was the show. It saved the show. It was the main event, and it did what it needed to do. It delivered. It delivered better than FedEx. That's all I know. Yeah,
Oh
so
my gosh. I have no idea if FedEx ever does want to sponsor my content. Those are his opinions, not mine. But I've heard your issues before there. But yeah, Rock and Austin absolutely delivered on WrestleMania 15. And you do make a great point. And that, I think that is one thing about 15, even though I do like it still better. 15 definitely felt like we're taking it up to here, but we got more to come. And oh boy, do we, as we move on to our number one entrance. Oh yes, sir, man.